me personally, I don't really think that we should give Nazis a platform. I don't really think Nazis should go on TV and people should ask them, like, oh, what? Why are you a Nazi? Why do you want to kill all the Jews and all black people? Care to explain? Oh, well, you see, I think that they're taking over the country and they're going to kill all of us, so we have to murder them first. Okay. Oh, well, you know, I respectfully disagree with that, sir. Like, no, man, we should not do this. This is stupid. Welcome back to the J-Star broadcast. It is 7:30 p.m. Alright, anyway, happy holidays. Here we go.
I gotta get a Greenstein or a Rosenblatt of my very
Of my
own.
very own.
Nothing else has worked so far, so I'll wish upon a star. Wondrous dancing speck of light, I need a Jew. Lois makes me take the rap, 'cause our checkbook looks like crap. Since I can't give her a slap, I need a Jew. Where to find a Baum or Steen or Stein to teach me how to whine and do my taxes?
It's a space dreidel.
Though by many they're abhorred, Hebrew people I've adored, even though they killed my Lord. I need a Jew.
Beta.
Hi, my name's Max Weinstein. My car just broke down. May I use your phone?
Now my troubles are all through. I have a Jew.
Hey!
He was actually a Freemason. Okay, anyway, on to this.
Just put the final nail
Ironic.
in the coffin, in Pierce's coffin specifically.
Actually, what's the opposite of irony?
I've been covering this whole saga of Piers Morgan and Nick Fuentes debating each other. Piers Morgan being a complete moron and Nick Fuentes walking all over him because Piers Morgan wasn't willing to engage with any of the points. Like, dog, Piers Morgan is really making believe he didn't know what per capita was. Per capita, the two scariest words in the English language if you're a libtard. You have to contend with the fact that it turns out immigrants in certain communities are a lot more violent than others. And but you're not allowed to be racist.
No, that's not what. What is the statistic that supports this claim? Where is the evidence? That's all I ask. That's all I ever ask these dipshits is, like, give me evidence. Give me something. Like, you're saying this thing, back it up. That's all you have to do.
Well, being not allowed to be racist is what's getting this entire society to fall apart. Oh, we gotta bring back...
Also, I don't know why they're going with this narrative. The conservatives They're going with this. I mean, it's just because like you can never take the woke side. You can never take the woke side, even though Piers Morgan isn't fucking woke. Even though he's like a liberal moderate, basically. So anyway, it's just the reason it's silly is because Piers Morgan steamrolled Nick Fuentes. Are you fucking kidding me? He made him look crazy. Okay, yeah, maybe the Groypers thought it was cool and epic how Nick Fuentes said, like, you know, lock up the blacks. Okay, it's crazy. It's crazy, but yeah, they like it. Of course they do. But like regular people watching television, watching their telly, the BBC, right? Like, they're watching that shit and they're like, what the fuck? What is going on in America, bro? Like, no, man. No, man. Nick Fuentes cannot... He's trying his best to like, you know, make his rhetoric more palatable. Like, he is trying to do that, but it's not working. It's not working, though, because you can't... You cannot make yourself seem like a moderate when you said that Hitler was like, that's your guy. When you say like that you would like dap up Hitler and shit. Like, he said that. He said that, bro. You can't just be like, actually I'm like a very reasonable moderate. I was just joking when I said I love Hitler. I was just joking.
You know what I'm saying? Let's bring it back to the schools, damn it. It's a survival strategy. All right. Well, anyway, apparently Piers Morgan is still crying about getting humiliated by Nick. And now
humiliated? Well, it's so crazy to me. That's so crazy, man. No, like anytime that anybody takes a like morally a moral high ground position, and it's more like leftist, it's more egalitarian, right? If you take the moral high ground on and you're also like taking the more egalitarian position, it's always like, it doesn't matter if you're actually a leftist, it doesn't matter if you're fucking woke, you're a libtard. You're a fucking libtard, bitch.
Steven Crowder, and apparently Steven Crowder just destroyed it. This went super viral. This debate's apparently amazing. I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but we're gonna watch it together.
Me neither.
An eagle-eyed member of the Uncensored team, known as one of the first eager superfans.
Holy shit, Tim Pool, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Steven Crowder, bro. This is the stinkiest lineup I've ever seen, bro. That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
It's disgusting. Steven Crowder, the host of Louder with Crowder, who wrote on our YouTube channel, How to Not Conduct an Interview 101.
True! You humiliated yourself, sir. You brought in a guy with wild ideas, and instead of actually engaging with any of the talking points, you decided to be like, well, Nicholas, are you actually racist? I would like to slap labels upon you. Racism, homophobia, misogyny, transphobia. Bro, none of this is gonna work. You lost the entire generation, man. These labels are complete failures. So yes,
all he did was like play his clips, right? His greatest hits. Okay, unironically, you know, it was like it was some of his funniest stuff. Okay, maybe not the most funny Nick Fuentes moments, but like some very charming moments where he also said some very racist things. Okay, and all he did was play that, and he was like, hey, can you elaborate? Can you elaborate on that? What did you mean by this? What did you mean by lock up the blacks? What is that? What kind of opinion is that? What kind of opinion you got going on?
Miami __ said hello, buddy.
Hello, buddy. Hey, buddy. What's up?
I agree.
Yeah, let's keep
You're
going.
a failure at interviewing controversial people because you don't even get to the controversial stuff. Like, bro, please.
Wait, if that's... What? If that's not controversial, what is?
Miami __ said I'm good. How is your streaming going so far?
It's really great. I'm having a great time. I've been streaming for about 10 minutes, so not that long, but so far so good. Anyway,
Mr. Crowder joins me now.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to you, Mr. Crowder.
Now here we go.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone told me this goes nuclear, so I'm excited. This was super viral. I saw clips of this everywhere. I didn't watch any of them because I knew I was going to be reacting to it, but I heard this went super, super hard.
Sure, Merry Christmas. Or do you guys say Happy Christmas?
Hey,
I've heard
Stephen
it
Crowder.
both ways.
We do, but
No,
Happy
actually,
Christmas.
In England they say Ramadan Mubarak, Inshallah. That's what they say. That's what they say in England, actually.
yeah, in
both
London,
I'd be very happy to wish you a happy Christmas and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Despite you impugning my qualities as an interviewer. You did expand on
All
this. You said
right,
Piers
all
Morgan
right.
is a liberal at heart, which I think is probably right. So he spent the whole interview trying to gotcha his way through identity politics on a guy who already rejects the premise.
True.
I did think that was an interesting commentary, actually. I would start by saying I wasn't trying to gotcha him because...
Dude, I love watching boomers having absolutely no idea what the actual, young American mind is like right now. Boomers have no idea. Because if you talk to like a 20-something-year-old American woman, it's all about abortion and transgender and woke stuff and whatever. And if you talk to like your average, 20-something-year-old American man, it's all about why the fuck am I supposed to kill myself and my country in order to benefit retards that hate me? Completely valid question. So instead of actually engaging with that point, they're immediately labeled racist and homophobic and, et cetera, et cetera.
Because I'd already made it clear I was going to put to him, I'd already said this publicly, I was going to put to him all the more contentious things that he has said, which have gained notice.
These aren't even remotely contentious compared to what, I think Piers Morgan is retarded because when he thinks controversial, he thinks something racist. But dude, if he went one step further in any of the questions he asked, it would be a whole new ball game. I'll give you an example right now. When Nick Fuentes says that black people commit more crimes per capita than white people, he's objectively correct. They're literally the facts are on his side.
No. Not objectively correct. But let's hear it.
So when Piers Morgan decides to start sniveling...
Oh, okay. No, never mind. Never mind. Nothing. So, he just said that black people commit more crimes. That is not the case. Black people are arrested more. And I was talking about this yesterday. That's just it. They get arrested more. If you want to, out of that, extrapolate that black people commit more crimes, and that's why they're getting more arrested, or that's why they're getting arrested more, you can do that. But that's racist. Okay, that is a racist thing to do. It's wrong. It's wrong. You shouldn't do that. Okay, anyway.
Think about it. Well, actually, it's pretty racist because more school shootings happen by men. And more white men are committing school shootings than black men. So your entire argument falls apart. It's a retarded argument because it's like saying that, 70% of car accidents are done by sober people. So maybe, would you be more scared of a sober driver or a drunk driver? Well, 70% of car accidents are done by sober people. Yeah, well, I mean, per capita, the drunk drivers get into infinitely more accidents than sober people. So again, it's a retarded premise, but that's what he was doing the entire interview. Now, if you wanted to actually be controversial, he should have said to Nick Fuentes, why do you think that is? Why do you think that black people in America are statistically 5 times more violent than white people? Like, why? If you would have asked him that question, it would have been a whole new interview. Because I'm pretty sure that Nick thinks it's like a genetic thing. He thinks that genetically black people are more violent. I'm pretty sure he thinks that way. And that would have been an entire conversation. Now, that's getting into some really hairy territory. I'm personally more inclined to believe it's cultural than genetic, me personally. But I feel like that's what I mean by he didn't even ask a single question. But anyway, like if you would have asked Nick Fuentes, like I know Nick Fuentes doesn't really care about the Holocaust and stuff like that, but if you would have asked him why do you think the Jews have been persecuted over the last 2,000 years, he would say it's because the Jews are evil and parasites and always trying to take over host countries, and therefore it's always in self-defense from the countries that are killing the Jews. I feel like there's another layer here that he could have gotten to that he never did, and that's why I will always say that look, man, Nick Fuentes won. Nick Fuentes destroyed him because ultimately even the far right is more rational than like your milk toast boomer liberal.
Notoriety and challenge him properly about it, which I think I did.
You didn't.
I don't categorize that as a gotcha. He got very exercised about the story involving his father,
Oh, God,
and I said on an earlier panel we did that actually, if I had my time again, I wouldn't have named his father, although it's easily discoverable on the internet, but I wouldn't have done that. I would still have told the anecdote, because as I tried to explain to Nick Fuentes, the story was put in the public domain by Nick Fuentes about his father in a way in which you could only construe from it that his father made decisions when Nick Fuentes was young, which appeared to be racist decisions. And I was curious whether he felt he was a product of that environment. Now,
The reason why you know Piers is bad faith is because he was like, Nick Fuentes, you're a virgin. You need to get laid. You're a virgin. Pathetic, says Piers Morgan. And literal cuckold, right? That's what he says to Nick. But the reality is he's a devout Christian. So why would you make fun of him for that? Like, it's crazy how this keeps happening.
he went nuts about that, and he's perfectly entitled to, and he's come after me and my family, so he's perfectly entitled to do all that. I don't care. But I was curious why you felt that I was playing gotcha with him, and not just actually, I think, doing my job as a
I'm
journalist.
excited for this. Oh God, Stephen, dude, Crowder's been pretty based lately. I don't know if any of you have been noticed. I don't know if
I'm
you
just challenging him about the more contentious things that he said.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't think you challenged him on the most contentious things. No, that's not impugnment of your character. It's a different interviewing style, right? I think that trying to shame someone like Nick Fuentes
He's so
for being
right.
racist?
It's over. It's over. The age of white guilt has ended. The age of just hating yourself because of how you were born. It's like, oh, I'm white, and since I'm white, now I hate myself. Now I'm privileged, and therefore I must do everything to bend over backwards to help the people that literally want to kill me.
Yeah, bro.
No, that age has ended. I don't care.
Yeah,
what
bro,
label.
that is exactly what leftists will always be saying. Be ashamed for being white. Yes, bro, that's what we're all saying all the time, bro.
And to be honest, look, this is coming from me,
Yeah.
a Jewish guy whose grandparents are Holocaust survivors. I get why Nick Fuentes doesn't care about the Holocaust. It really doesn't affect him in his day-to-day life. He's worried about the next generation, fucking destroying America, right? He's worried about 1 million abortions in America happening every year, which is essentially a genocide every year, a genocide of babies, right? He's worried about what the next generation is going to do in school. He's worried about people having children in America. He's worrying about America not becoming Somalia in 1 year. Like, I get why he doesn't personally care about the Holocaust that much. So constantly trying to press him on things that, quite honestly, are not the most important things in his life or in the life of his children if he ever decides to get married to a woman, a female, specifically female.
No, but that's not the issue. It's not just that he doesn't care about the Holocaust. Like look, let's be so for real, okay? Everybody, 99% of the people victimized by the Holocaust are dead. The effects of the Holocaust are still seen today. Okay, there are still people suffering from the trauma, but for the most part, everybody's moved on. Okay, it's just those guys. So, like, nobody really cares about the Holocaust, okay, is my point. Like, nobody really cares about it that much. It's just like it's like a historical event to most people now. Like in the past, it was more personal. If you were there, if you were alive when it happened, people... I think that's why it resonated so much with people. But anyway, now we're 80 years removed from the happening, so nobody really cares about it, okay, for real. With that being said, Nick Fuentes doesn't just not care about the Holocaust. Nick Fuentes did Holocaust revisionism. Okay, he spewed anti-Semitic lies that are the Holocaust revisionism. Holocaust revisionism, for those of you that don't know, is just that. It's when you change details of the Holocaust to make it seem less bad than it was. So a common thing that you'll hear people say is 217,000. Okay, if you've ever seen somebody post, I think that's the number anyway. Or is it like 271 or something? It's something like that, okay? But if you ever see somebody post that number, okay, 271,000 or whatever the fuck it is, they are a Nazi. Okay, most likely. That's like one way that they signal to each other. But anyway, the reason that I don't even know if I clarified or if I said this, but the reason that number is a signal is because a lot of these Holocaust revisionists will say that only 200-something thousand Jews died in the Holocaust instead of the actual consensus, which is more like 6 to 8 million. And up to 20 million people in general, if you include everyone else. So, anyway, stupid.
I get it, and that's what these boomers, they'll never understand. They can't wrap their head around that. No, quite literally, stuff like the Holocaust or slavery is not the most important thing on the mind of your average white guy that just wants to survive and build a family and have children and have grandchildren. I want to, actually have them be able to survive and buy a house and live in a community where they don't get killed by a felon that was released by the Justice Department 23 times.
For being misogynist, like that's a layup for him. He's already been accused of that, and I don't think it's very fruitful. I mean, I don't want to conflate gotcha with challenging. So I would say, by the way, yeah, if he's going after your family, Nick Fuentes, if you're watching, strongly condemn that from your audience if anything is happening out of line. But I also would say,
I agree.
When the guy makes a good point and says, hey, my dad's not here to defend himself, could we move on from that? Don't do it 6 more times. But I count it 6 times and you're not able to get to where you actually have disagreements. See, when I sat down with Nick, and yeah, I played his clips back, people could argue that it was tedious, but I would play a 1.5-minute clip, a 2-minute clip, because I want to show it in context. And I was able to actually lay out, we were actually able to contrast our policy, our prescription differences, where people know. And so I think if you go after, father being racist, I don't even know that he would construe his father's being racist, because he didn't like Applebee's. No one likes Applebee's. No one likes Applebee's.
Hang on. He didn't like Applebee's because he said it was black fair.
That's not what he said. He literally told the story that his father didn't like that particular restaurant chain or others because they were known for black fare.
Sure.
Well, that's racist.
Maybe.
Black fare, what if people don't like black fare as far as food? But if people don't want to be somewhere more like
Maybe.
in a World Star Hip Hop video.
He's just so right.
This is where we get to the issue of you and him discussing.
See, but they didn't even get to that discussion. Steven's just completely correct. He's just completely right. Look, if I don't like Chinese food, that doesn't make me racist against Chinese people. It just means I'm gonna avoid Chinese restaurants. It doesn't make me racist. He's completely correct. And Piers didn't even get to this conversation because he just slammed the label of racist on him and moved on. And that is exactly the issue with boomers in the modern day because these retards.
But the reason that Piers focused on that story is specifically because the way that Nick told it, it seemed like he was saying they avoided Applebee's not for the food, obviously, but because of the people of color that his dad suspected would be patrons there. This is just completely disingenuous.
They have, okay, look, I have a moral system that's based on biblical values.
Like, and why are you doing this? Why are you even doing this? You're pro-Israel. Like Nick Fuentes is not. You should not position yourself as like an ally of his. And I mean, I assume you won't in the long run. But like, why are you doing it here? Why, man? He wants to kill you. He wants to murder you. If Nick Fuentes had all the power, he'd send you to the fucking gas chamber. But anyway, like, it just confuses me because you don't even have to do this. You don't. I guess Nux Taco is, like, kind of reading the room because I don't know. He can't really leave his pro-Israel position, right? Like, he's not going to do that. He's in too deep, you know? Even more than, like, Ben Shapiro. Okay, maybe not more than Ben Shapiro, but, like, he's very much like Ben Shapiro in his rhetoric, so... Anyway, let's keep going.
Because God's divine command prescribes morality. That's my personal moral system. So ultimately, is murder bad? Yes, and I can give you a million logical reasons why murder is bad, but ultimately it comes down to the fact that God said, thou shalt not murder. However, obviously, logically, we can't live in a society. Society can't function if people are killing each other. Murder is immoral, so I wouldn't want it to be done to me. I can give you a million moral reasons for it, but ultimately, at the end of the line, God prescribed it as immoral. And I feel like, ultimately, you need to come down to, you know, figuring out the conclusions here. When Piers Morgan slaps racist on someone, he treats it like it's divine command. Like, once you reach that level of racist, that is bad under all circumstances, and can have no wiggle room, and there's no room for interpretation, and there's no amount of context that makes it okay if you're racist, bam, you're immediately a bad guy. And he views racism as some kind of divine command. So for him, that's the end of the road. This is the liberal failure, okay? This is the liberal multicultural failure, all right? When I say I don't want to import Somalians into America, it's not because I hate people in Somalia. It's because I think that people in Somalia have an average IQ of 67, so they're fucking retarded. They're inbred after 1,400 years of inbreeding. They have different value systems. Rape was legal there 5 years ago. If we import them en masse into our communities, it's going to turn America into a shithole. As we can see that they're literally here. They're doing nothing. They're scamming us. The average guy pays $797 of taxes. All right, like that is terrible. 42% of that least are on welfare. They're telling them they're undocumented. They're a voting bloc that's changing elections. So I have an incredibly nuanced opinion why I don't want to import people from Somalia. All right, and it doesn't boil down to racism. So if you treat my opinion of I don't want to import people from Somalia.
Yeah, oh yeah, none of that was racism. Yeah, man. Somalians are inbred. Somalians are evil Muslims. They want Sharia law. They want to rape. All of these things, if you're not understanding me, are racist lies. Okay, of course they are. Of course they fucking are. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's not me being racist. It's just me saying that Somalians are, you know, savages, evil savages. Okay, man. Okay. Like, is racism okay or is it not? I don't understand you guys. Like, you're racist one minute and you're proud, and then you're not racist at all. Actually, it's really complicated. I'm actually not a racist. Like, just lay it out there. Figure it out, dude. Straighten the fuck out, man. Like, just pick something. Pick something. Okay, are you racist or are you not? Like, if you are, I disagree with that. I disagree with the racism. Okay, I'll argue with you about it. But anyway, If you don't want to be called a racist, stop being
As divine
racist.
command, racism equals bad guy, period, the end, then we can never actually engage in a discussion. And that's why boomer and liberal politics are fucking awful right now. Because once you reach that point, it's over. It's over. If you reach the point of racism, there is no need to delve further, according to the retarded boomer lib cuck mind. And that's exactly what we saw here. Like, quintessential and exactly what we saw here.
Sing per capita. But let me ask you
No!
this.
You brought up my favorite word. Per capita becomes my favorite word. It is the death cry of liberalism.
Like you're Catholic. We're talking about this, so you'd be happy to talk about it. What do you think is going to be fruitful in attacking a celibate Catholic for not getting laid?
I didn't attack him.
Driving people
I didn't
into
attack. I didn't attack
Oh, yeah,
him.
you
You said he needs to get laid.
I think he does.
It's a heresy.
I think he does. I think he's an incel.
So you advocate heresy.
I think he's, well, I perfectly understand.
Oh my God! Yes, correct. Liberals advocate heresy. Yes, true. All of them, without exception. Every single one of them. Every liberal. That's why, in my opinion, the left is evil. It's because leftist policy is inherently evil. Think about it. Name one leftist policy that isn't heretical. I don't think you can. Leftist policy is all bad. It's literally all bad. It's import people from cultures that hate ours, that hate our religion, that hate our biblical background. Essentially. That's one part of it, one major part of liberalism these days. There's transgenderism, right? It literally says in the Bible, do not dress like a woman, right? Cross-dressing is a sin in the Bible. So is castrating yourself is a sin in the Bible. There's abortion, which is murder, a sin in the Bible. And that's essentially what the entire leftist hullabaloo is. Communism is theft, which is a sin in the Bible. You own property, according to the Bible. Literally, one of the first stories in the entire Bible is Abraham buying land to bury his wife, Sarah. And essentially, and right after that, Abraham states that this plot of land will be to him and his descendants forever. Like the idea, and communism, you should actually just take the land away and give it to other people.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid rules in the Bible. There are. I say this as a Christian. Okay, I literally fucking read the Bible and like believe it and shit. Okay, and like other people think that's weird. Except for other Christians, but goddamn are they weird. So, anyway. It's just a fact. There are a lot of dumb rules in the Bible. Like, sticking to the Old Testament, since Nux Taku, that's his version, okay, the Torah. The Torah says you cannot wear garments of mixed fabric. The Torah says you can't plant two different crops next to each other or some shit or something like that. Or it's like, I don't know, I can't remember that one specifically, actually. I think it's just you can't plant two different crops directly next to each other or something. It may have been more specific than that. Anyway, okay, that's fucking stupid, and most Jews don't do it. Interesting. Anyway, that being said, communism isn't theft. It's not fucking theft, okay? It's not. And anyway, if it is, then it's fucking epic. Also, I feel like it should go without saying, but what am I talking about? It doesn't anymore. The state, the government, should be secular. So it doesn't fucking matter if the state is heretical, because it is a secular institution, or at least it should be, ideally. And that's what the Founding Fathers believed. That's what classical liberals believed. That's it.
People. Like, you don't understand. Leftism is inherently heretical. It's hedonistic. Two consenting adults is all that matters. Infinite gay slop all over Netflix. I'm really glad that we're having this discussion, me and you in my chat, that no one else can hear, because I'm apparently considered too radical in that regard. But hey, from one radical to another, this is why the lib cuck mentality is terrible.
And if you're a devout Catholic, which I'm not, I was brought up a Catholic and I was given spiritual guidance by Catholic nuns, and a lot of my family are very devout Catholics. I'm not particularly,
Yeah,
but I still adhere to, broadly adhere to Catholicism, albeit.
What the fuck does that mean? I'm telling you, this is the worst. It's like a woke priest. Hi, I'm a woke priest. I believe in LGBT rights. But actually, gay marriage is illegal according to the Bible. And it's like, well, actually, I think that part of the Bible's wrong. God was right about most of it, but he was wrong about some stuff. Well, then he's not God. Then you don't believe in anything. I don't know, man. This stuff always weirds me out.
You don't believe in everything in the Bible. Do you wear garments? So do you shape up your facial hair? Do you go for a haircut? Oh, well. Sorry. That's not orthodox. That's not trad, bro. Okay, don't shape up your... Now, me personally, I can do it. I'm allowed to. Jesus was like, fuck all that. Fuck the the hair thing, okay? But, like, but anyway, You know, you are not so lucky, okay? You gotta, hey, you gotta play by the rules, bro. You gotta, come on. What are you doing?
It's like, I'm not particularly bad. I believe in spiritual.
Let me see your facial hair. Let me see it.
Not the thing
Send
that
me a
I personally
picture.
know better than God. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Send me a
Thanks, bro.
picture next
Absolute
taco.
cuck mentality.
But there are parts of the teachings I don't agree with. So that's my position.
Bro, what does that even mean? Then what are you? Like, are you smarter than God? Dude, this position, it's such a contrived position. It's unreal. Dude, either it's divine and the word of God, or it's not. What is this? Well, I believe in some Christian teachings, but some I know better. Like, what does that even mean?
But I can understand if he said to me, the reason I've never had
Then why
sex.
bring it up, Piers? Why is it relevant whether he's been late or not? Because I said in my interview specifically, just so you know, I'll answer for everything I say. When I interviewed him, I said, I hate when people use something that should be seen as a virtue, as an attack. Out of all the views, if you view them as reprehensible, and I, by the way, strongly disagree with a lot of Nick's views, the least relevant is when...
The reason that it matters is because he hates women. He's a staunch misogynist. Yeah, that's why it matters.
He's celibate as a devout Catholic. That's like a good thing. And so you actually get him
Well,
the
yeah, but actually, had he said to me,
out of it.
hang on, you're putting up a better defense, if I may suggest, than he did. Because had he said to me, I'm a devout Catholic, and the reason I haven't had sex is because the Catholic Church...
Dude, that was 2 hours into your interview, and at that point, he was just tired and trolling. All right, this is after you were calling your homie Holocaust survivors to try to guilt him and shame him into, deciding to change his entire views perspective. Okay,
that was pretty funny.
forbids that and says you should be married before you have sex. Perfectly reasonable answer. That's not what he said. He never said that.
Wasn't that like that wasn't?
Because he said that literally.
That was like an hour in.
Elsewhere.
That
He
wasn't
didn't say
even
it to
that
me.
far in.
I only asked
bro.
you about that stuff because there is a view that he is what they call an incel, and that he whips up that kind of mentality, and that's why he's such a misogynist about women and so on. It's an interesting thing to ask him. He seemed to me quite happy to answer it all. He was quite emphatic in his answers. Fine. I didn't see that as an attack. I was joking about
It's
getting.
crazy that he's still using his name for clicks on his show. It's so pathetic.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a good point. You know, Nick Fuentes, he was happy to like talk about his celibacy. You know? So no harm, no foul, right?
Because it seems to me he's a very angry guy.
Can I jump in for a second here? Because this is where I think this is important, right? His audience will. People out there, by the way, some who are voluntarily celibate because they're devout Christians, but also if you look at the dating pool out there, I don't think it's misogyny to say, I wouldn't date one of those young women if they were growing on my ass. And they're actually out there living in a world that's been created. They will identify you as someone who's helped you.
You know how many comments I get saying, like, look, man, you say all the time, get married, have children and stuff, but it's really hard to find a woman that is not brainwashed. It's really hard to find someone that's not a lobotomite. And, honestly, I totally feel that. I absolutely and totally feel that. It's really not easy these days because these universities are just actual, contagious cesspools where they churn people out and turn them into retards.
Create that, right? Someone said, I don't care if the UK no longer looks white. I don't care if we lose our cultural identity. Hey, it's great, women's rights, and they're looking at their prospects. And when you say...
It's always so funny. The people that they're importing do not believe in women's rights. It's like, women's rights give them the ability to vote. So therefore, they're going to vote to be empathetic and open the borders to people that hate them. And then they will open the borders to people come in, they'll overpopulate them, and then they'll vote to remove women's rights. That's the cycle. That's the suicide spiral.
Hey,
you're voting to remove women's rights. Fuck the immigrants, bro. What? They're not doing it. You literally did it. Like, I don't think we need to worry about the immigrants, man. It seems that every bad thing that Republicans say immigrants are causing is actually it's usually caused by them. Or a rich person.
Gotten laid. You're an incel. Guess what? You give him the moral high ground. When you say, hey, what about your dad? And he asked you, and I will say, he asked pretty respectfully, don't do that. You go on 6 more times. What did you
because I thought what he was doing.
He said a little twerp.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
A little twerp.
Stephen, I hear you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, honestly, I'm not, because I've got a lot of respect for you. I think that
Well, thank you.
I think what he tried to do, I think he was taken aback when I revealed that anecdote about his father.
Bro,
and I think he didn't want to address what he
here.
actually said on air with that anecdote, because it's pretty damning when you hear it.
It's really
and I think he decided very quickly, because he's a smart, quick operator, to turn it into me attacking him about his dad who wasn't there and how disgusting him was. And that's fine, but I kept trying to bring him back. I kept saying, look, it's not an attack on your father.
His dad.
Disgusting.
Well, it wasn't attacking his dad. I was saying, if you tell a story that you're saying your father was racist, can that have an influence on you as you grow up? That was the question I was making. I didn't want him getting off the hook of answering that question about his environment, having heard him in his own words put that story out there.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In trying to keep him 6 times, and that's what I counted on the hook for his dad maybe being a racist. Look, if your dad's in the Klan, it couldn't be relevant. It has nothing to do with the price of tea in China, right? What hook?
Well, it is if you openly admit to being a racist.
Well, I'm asking him about Stalin, and I say this because the last time I was on your show, remember we were talking about Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And by the way, I would hope that you would be just as hard on Candace and people like Tucker for some of the things that they've said.
Sure.
I think it's fair to be even-handed across the board.
Yeah, I agree.
Stalin, I said I would like.
Yeah, I agree. Meanwhile, he was not like that at all. He literally just did an interview with Tucker Carlson where Tucker said, I can't believe England decided to get involved in World War II. It wasn't bothering them at all. Hitler never invaded them. Oh, he was never really a threat. And he was like, well, actually, I don't really care about that. Like, bro, that's the ultimate pushback.
To ask him about that, right? Is he a fan? Is he actually an admirer? Or does he just mean to say he's fascinated? What did you ask? You asked him about his dad 6 times. You attacked him as, I don't mean attack him, you present him as racist, misogynist, right? Stuff that he already knows. That's the playbook. You'll drive your fans into his own arms. What was your question on Stalin?
Well, I asked him.
There wasn't one.
Well, there was actually.
There wasn't one.
No,
No, there wasn't.
No, there was. You just didn't hear it. So I actually brought on a British journalist called Danny Finkelstein, who
Oh
spent
my
90
God,
seconds
dude.
in a video
Stop, bro.
talking about what Stalin and Hitler had done to his family. I did it in the context of him saying Hitler's cool, but Stalin was addressed in that, and he was totally dismissive of a Jewish man talking about his family being a
Because you were trying to emotionally blackmail him. He was there for discussion of policy and opinions and intellect and philosophy, and you ended up trying to emotionally gaslight him. Look, I feel bad for Danny Finkelstein, all right, or whatever his name is, Jewish man whose parents died in the Holocaust. It's a horrible thing. It's an unbelievable tragedy, but it has absolutely nothing to do with an intellectual debate. This is the kind of, pardon my French, goyslop that only works on liberals and really, effeminate, empathetic retards. It doesn't work on like a regular guy that just wants to have a discussion about policy. The emotional gaslighting is so over. We're just so tired of it. We're so tired of being beaten over the head by it. It's like, well, black crime is statistically higher per capita than white crime. Oh, well, did you ever consider racism that happened? Bro, stop. Slavery was so
It's
bad.
not.
But that's not relevant right now.
annihilated by Stalin and Hitler.
Do you hear yourself? Do you think that's going to be effective or
He's
fruitful?
right.
Well, it
Bring a
wasn't.
guy named
It wasn't.
Finkelstein. No, it wasn't. You didn't ask him. Let me read you what I asked him about Stalin. Okay, because I think a lot of you responded saying it was softball. Did you watch the whole interview that I conducted with Nick?
Well, before you read what you're about to read, let me play a little mashup of you interviewing Nick Fuentes, and you can respond to this. Hang on.
Okay, but did you watch the whole interview?
Yeah, hang on.
Fuentes, do you hate all Jews, sir?
Oh my God, this was literally the intro of the podcast. This is before they even got into the any. Oh my God, dude. Pierce is he's such a journalist hack. He is such a traditional mainstream soy hack.
Oh, okay. Do you consider yourself an anti-Semite, a noted anti-Semite?
No.
Okay. Clears that up. Do you believe that white people are superior to all other races on the planet?
No.
Okay. Do you want to eradicate
No,
all
I don't
non-whites from the
believe
United
that,
States?
No.
Okay, well, Barry White will be very happy to hear that. No doubt she's will. And then because this happens a lot, right? It's you're a Fed. Tucker did this with you. Fed. Nick Fuentes, are you in fact a Fed?
No.
Okay.
I got to say, mate, that's one of the most forensic examinations of.
That was literally the intro bit of his debate. I am like mortified that Piers Morgan actually considers himself a journalist.
Interviewing masterclass I think I've ever seen. I mean, the follow-ups were magnificent.
Nick?
Magnificent.
Pierce, did you watch the whole interview?
No.
No, you didn't. Okay, so one of us came here quite a bit more prepared, which seems to be your approach with Nick. So let me read you my exact question on Stalin. Those were layups specifically because, again, I think you and I both agree, right? We want to have reasonable discussions. You don't want to radicalize people.
I agree.
Get rid of the bull crap on the outset so that we can actually get to real differences. And I think here's something that I really pursue when it comes to truth and understanding. I asked him about Stalin. Let me read you the exact question. Later on, it would help if you watch the whole interview. I said, my question to you would be, I know that you've said we want a Catholic theocracy or a Christian theocracy. I've heard the word dictatorship. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would ask you, since the end point seems similar to where Stalin would want us to reach, swap atheism for Catholicism, would you be able to name, or is there any one thing that you think America concretely should copy about Stalin's rule or revolutionary methods to get there? And guess what? We were able to actually answer. We were able to actually discuss it. How many retractions on your show? 0. Quite a few on mine. How many times did we actually get into discussions regarding where we disagree? And let me tell you where I disagree with him. I'm to the right of him on some issues.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes is basically he's just kind of a national socialist. I don't mean that like the Nazi way, but he really is like kind of lived out in many ways when it comes to, just kind of be like a live and let live kind of guy in some regards. More than I am, to be honest. But on the other hand, he's like, he wants a white Christian nation. Like he literally is it's so hard to say, man. He really is a national socialist. Fuck.
Definitely to the right of him economically. He's a pretty big sort of centralized economy guy, but we did it in good faith. And I presented him with his own questions. We got that out of the way. If you don't watch the whole interview, yeah, you can take 15 seconds. Did you get to that was my question, and yours was?
So, what Nuxtaku just said there is really dumb. Okay? And I want to talk about why, because I think a lot of people think the same thing that he just said. Okay, I think a lot of like young men in particular. Okay. Nick Fuentes is a Nazi. Yeah, he's a National Socialist. Okay, in the traditional sense. Socialism is an economic plan. It is a transition from capitalism to communism. Okay, socialism goes between capitalism and communism. Marx, this is what he theorized. Okay, he came up with the idea of socialism. Now, Nick Fuentes does not really ever talk about economic policy for real, unless it's like all over the news, tariffs, stuff like that. He doesn't care about that shit. Okay, he doesn't care about he doesn't do economic populism. He just does racism. That's all he does. That's what he sells. Okay, like he isn't even like much of a libertarian. It depends on like what day you catch him. Okay, for real. Sometimes he'll say, like, oh, live and let live, whatever. Most of the time, he's racist. All the time. Most of the time, he's racist all the time. Okay? Sometimes he's not as much. Okay, that's my point. That doesn't mean he's even a libertarian. Okay, but libertarians are also right-wing. Okay, because he doesn't do economic populism. He doesn't. He has achieved the success he has by just, like, being as racist as he possibly can and marketing himself to the right people, and also getting incredibly lucky. Okay, incredibly lucky that he met Destiny. He met someone as dumb and as big of a platform as Destiny at the perfect moment. Okay, that's it.
We never asked about Stalin. He said, do you still think Hitler is fucking cool?
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you? What'd you learn?
That he does.
And that's new? He thinks they have nice outfits? They're Hugo Boss.
No, but okay, he didn't say that as his reason.
He literally did say that! Oh my god, this guy's such a he's like literally such a fraud.
Did you learn about Stalin, Piers? Did you learn about...
I learned this about Stalin. I learned this about Stalin.
disenfranchised?
As I said to you, I played a clip from a guy who literally lost family members, close family members, to Stalin and to Hitler.
Sure.
And Nick Fuentes' response was to mock him, and then to unleash his groypers on this guy who've been now mercilessly abusing and mocking him about the loss of his family members.
That's not a nice thing to do. I agree. Not a nice thing to do. To abuse and mock this random old Jewish guy who's family died in Holocaust. Sure, not a nice thing to do. However, what the fuck was this emotional blackmail question? Like, what was this even supposed to do? But do you think Nick Fuentes was gonna start cheering and be like, holy shit, you're so right. You're so right, the Holocaust was actually bad? Like, what do you even mean? It's insane. It's insane watching him, knowing that he actually... Does he believe what he says? I think he believes what he says.
To Stalin and Hitler for the last 48 hours. Now, you might think that's acceptable, or that somehow I didn't push that up.
This is what legacy media has done. You can't compete. Look, guys like Nick,
I mean,
guys like
legacy
Wilson on your
media.
show, I mean that you were at CNN, HLN for a very long time, and you're still following the same format. And so there, accusing someone young of being racist is a win. But with people who grow up being accused of racism, of misogyny their whole life, they don't give a shit. And so you should get to the point where you can
Like,
actually...
you don't understand. Basic Christian values are now viewed as misogynistic and homophobic. Like, you don't understand where we're at in society today. All right? The Christian value is the man is the head of the household. That's misogyny. Men and women should be even. All right? The Christian value is that, you know, actually gay sex is a sin. A sin. Gay marriage is actually just equality. That's homophobic. Like, basic biblical values are now being demonized in society to such a mainstream degree that quite literally no one's taking these people seriously. That's why you can never ever get into these discussions with them, because again, they view racism as a divine command. Right? It is pure evil. And once they can correctly analyze that you're racist, the discussion ends there. Instead of actually finding out if maybe there is actually a point or a reason to why he's saying what he's saying.
Understand. Here's the one thing I would say that would help. Listen. You weren't listening to the guy, so you're not even able to lay out where you disagree, and your own audience.
Well, I don't think you heard. I don't think you could have heard the whole interview either. Then. I mean, I'm going to go and listen to yours
every last second. Pillar to post.
Okay, but for 2 hours I talked to the guy. I came with an open mind. I wanted to know whether it was performative, whether he did these things, whether he
just showed clips, and you're like, this makes it sound like a racist. He's like, yeah, I'm a racist. He's like, you're a racist, holy moly.
Said things as a joke, whether if he did and it blew up, he regretted any of them, or whether he really means this stuff. And I learned a lot more about Nick Fuentes in the 2 hours than I knew before. You probably knew it all already because you've interviewed him before. I haven't.
Bro, you could learn this by watching his stream. He said nothing that got any pushback. You could learn all of those opinions by watching literally any of his streams.
I've never interviewed him before. This is my first time I've ever spoken with him or interacted with him whatsoever. I did do my research, and I already knew what his stance was on Stalin. I already knew how he clarified it. I already knew his stance on racism. Here's what I would say, if I'm being as accurate as I can be, right, for the general populace. I think most people, if they listen to Nick Fuentes, his views on race and crime, they'd say, okay, someone like that has a case. Certainly any man under the age of 25. I think a lot of people would broad strokes categorize it as anti-Semitic. We were able to get into that. I was able to communicate that I thought Islamic immigration is a greater threat than global Jewry. And guess what? He disagreed, but we understood each other. You don't...
Well, you're talking to Piers Morgan, like you're talking to Uber Cuck. Right? This dude thinks Islamic immigration is good because it makes the food taste better. He's willing to sacrifice the women getting raped in the streets and the children getting kidnapped and raped.
No, man. No, he's not. No, he's not. Piers Morgan is super racist. Okay, he is. He has talked about Islamic fundamentalism like it's a problem in Londonistan. Londonistan. Okay, he has said that, man. He's gotten racist with it. Okay, maybe not as racist as Nick Fuentes, but maybe not as racist as you either. But he does.
He is willing to sacrifice the tripled rape amounts in England and Scotland and all those other places. He's willing to sacrifice triple the women, because he gets good food. So you're talking to Uber Cuck on the matter.
Radicalize people by marginalizing everyone who actually makes good points, by spending 6 follow-up questions on racist.
Here's what I'll concede. Like I did with the initial reaction that you did. I will concede. I didn't get him. I mean, other than him saying, I believe now, actually, in a satirical way. In other words, I don't think he really meant it. But when he said he did think at least 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust, he did it in a way that others, like Glenn Greenwald, have told me he didn't mean it. Yeah. Whatever, it's up to him. It's down to him. I don't think I got anywhere with Nick Fuentes. I don't think I got anywhere to him changing his mind about anything. I certainly didn't get anywhere in stopping him unleashing his groyper hounds on me or my family, whatever. I don't care. I've had far worse, and it's fine. If you're in the media jungle long enough, you get these pylons occasionally, and it's just better just to write about it with a smile on your face. It's whatever. But I didn't get anywhere with it. So in a way, I'm listening to you because I'm curious how you do get anywhere with somebody like that when his whole shtick.
You actually treat him like a person. That's the only way. Like the moment you were able to label him as racist, you viewed him as less of a person. The moment you were able to label him as one of those 10 commandments of wokeness, he's a racist, he's misogynist, he's homophobic. Like that's when the discussion ended. But you just need to treat him like a person, and you can get to this conclusion. I've discussed things with people that I vastly disagree with in all walks of life, and that's just basically the way to do it. Just think of them as a human being with opinions and discuss it with them. No matter how horrible, hear what they say.
Is really
Look,
just.
Here's the thing. Nick Fuentes and I obviously disagree on a lot of things. I would think. All right. And,
yeah, you need to be more empathetic to racists. How dare you? How dare you not be empathetic? How dare you? No, like, again, I don't get it. I don't get what he's trying to do. Like, are you racist or are you not? Is racism epic and based? Okay, or are people smearing you and they're just trying to silence you? Like, I don't get it. Okay, you can't get mad at people for calling you racist when you literally say that racism is awesome and you are a racist. Because, like, keep in mind, for anybody that thinks I'm exaggerating, Nuxtaku has stated all that. It's like his catchphrase, okay? You can call me racist, but you can't call me wrong. Okay, that's something that he says often. Okay, and that's what he thinks. Okay, at least I thought he thought that racism was epic. Okay, as long as you weren't anti-Semitic, as long as you weren't racist in an anti-Semitic way, or as long as you actually, no, sorry, my bad. You can be anti-Semitic, you just can't be anti-Israel. Okay, my bad. So actually, all forms of racism are welcome in Nuxtaku's vision of the world.
As a member of the global Jewry, as he calls it. All right, listen, and he's just a, he's a goy. What can I say? He's a goy. So ultimately, obviously, God, it's really not. I didn't mean that in a obviously condescending way. That's just what it is. What can I do? No fixing that. Unless he obviously circumcised himself and converts to Judaism, which is very likely. Agent Shlomo Fuentes is truly doing everything he can to get the Jews to move to Israel. I gotta say, I respect the grind. But anywho, what I'm trying to say is, I am very open to what he has to say. I actually agree with a lot of what he says, even though we obviously have many disagreements in many different areas. He's a human being. He's a human being that has the right to his opinions. And you know what? If he thinks that Judaism is a threat or whatever, he has a right to that opinion too. He does. I think he's wrong. However, I absolutely think he has a right to that opinion. And for sure, you should hear him out. You should hear out, especially the discussion.
Okay.
Opinions.
All
I believe
right.
in free speech, and I would die to defend his speech that I hate. All right. But
Maybe
it's
you
such a
will
retarded
die.
and annoying viewpoint when now you've already labeled him. So therefore, no need to even engage with him.
Like, it is no joke when I say, if Nick Fuentes were like, if he controlled the levers of society, Nux, you're going straight to the gas chamber. Fucking Ben Shapiro is going straight to the gas chamber. Most people are probably going straight to the gas chamber. It's fucking Nick Fuentes, man. God damn.
Trebling, quadrupling down, and he says things which I genuinely do find really offensive. When he talks about women in the way that he does, it is really offensive.
Ask him why he thinks that, though. Like, this is unreal. It's unreal that after days of this fucking bullshit, Piers Morgan was never able to figure out the major issue, that he never asked a single follow-up question. When he says that women shouldn't vote, why didn't Piers Morgan just ask him why? Why do you think women shouldn't vote? I don't know. Maybe we'd come up with this whole thing. Women are more emotional than men, and therefore voting should be done as one unit per household. Or I don't know his answer, to be honest. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. He should have let him say that. You're so right, bro. You're right. He should have let him argue his perspective on why women should lose their right to vote. Yeah, man. So I think what Nuxtaku is trying to say here is that we shouldn't write off anyone. Okay, we shouldn't do that. We should give credence to all ideas. Okay, if you're a racist, I mean, and you know, that is the increasingly popular perspective. But me personally, I don't really think that we should give Nazis a platform. I don't really think Nazis should go on TV and people should ask them, like, oh, what? Why are you a Nazi? Why do you want to kill all the Jews and all black people? Care to explain? Oh, well, you see, I think that they're taking over the country and they're going to kill all of us, so we have to murder them first. Okay. Oh, well, you know, I respectfully disagree with that, sir. Like, no, man, we should not do this. This is stupid. If you believe in exterminationist policy, okay, if you believe in brutalizing the most vulnerable in society, you shouldn't have a platform. You shouldn't get to say those things, ideally. Okay, unfortunately, we don't live in that society, certainly not anymore. Okay, at least a few years ago, this kind of thing wouldn't be going on, okay, but we live in the today time, and racism is back, where it's so up right now. Racism is so fucking up, bro. Okay, we are so racist in America. We're the most racist. Okay, so anyway, I do have to I have to take this seriously. Like, unfortunately, I hate that. You know, if Nick Fuentes were still a nobody, I wouldn't give a fuck about him or the Groypers. But because they have Nick Fuentes has a platform, he's successfully been able to go on mainstream media. Okay, he's gone on Piers Morgan. I don't think he's been on any of the other mainstream outlets yet. But yeah, I think his time is probably coming. Okay, he dined with the president. Like, these guys are like, they have motion. They have power. You know, that's why I watch them. That's why we're gonna start reacting to them. Okay,
Ask
and
him
actually,
why you didn't think women should vote.
well,
Here, okay, let me
I'll
answer.
save
Here's
it
how
for
you get
later.
somewhere.
Okay.
By not playing gotcha. So, for example, when you start off with, if you've done the research, you know it's facetious. Same thing that Jillian Michaels did. Do you think all women need to be raped? No, he was citing, by the way, study after study that you can replicate that 62% of women
He said
have
that to me.
some form of
He said
rape
that to me.
fantasy. Yes, so sexually dominant. But when you start off with that, guess what? Young people go, okay, all right, same old, same old.
I didn't start off with that.
What are your views on
I
women?
started off with this thing that all women are annoying and they all get old and fat and ugly.
What part of that do you disagree with?
Well, you don't think women get old? Oh, come on, Piers. You are such a cuck. It's unreal.
You don't think the women get fatter and more attractive? Men do too, by the way.
I think men
You and I
largely
are
do.
both getting fatter and uglier. And I
Okay.
think that a lot of women, particularly if you go on TikTok and you see generationally, I think they're annoying. And I think that is a symptom of a serious problem, which is deeply rooted feminism,
Right.
which, by
He's so right. He's completely right. Holy shit, he's killing him. He's killing him. He's actually fucking killing him.
the way, is the same source problem for
Yep, that's right. When Nick says that women are annoying and getting old, fat, and ugly, engage with him. Ask him why he thinks that way. Discuss with him. Maybe you disagree. Why?
No. No, because what the fuck does that have to do with their right to vote? Or their rights to bodily autonomy? They're old, like Steven Crowder just said, like, I'm getting old and fat and ugly, okay? And it's true. Like, men do too. Okay, so should we take men's right to vote away? You know, no, this is stupid. This is stupid. The fact that we're talking about this is so fucking idiotic. Why? Why are we doing this? What the fuck is going on, man? Like, we're talking about women and like, and this is the BBC. This is BBC News. This is fucking international television. Okay? And Nick Fuentes is going on there and he's like, I think women shouldn't have the right to vote. I stand by it. And they're like, why? And he's like, women are fat and ugly and old and
He's so right.
whatever.
It's
They're
LGBTQ,
old cat lady.
And the reason that you have biological men winning Olympic medals, right?
They
You
got
see that
too
as a
many
problem. You need to
cats.
get to where you diverge or what the root of the problem is. And here's the thing, you're never going to get there
That's right.
if you just
slap misogynist on him.
discount
Oh my
young
God,
people
he's still Piers. Look at his face. Bro, he's humiliated.
who are facing different problems. I understand. I don't think they're right on all of it, but I understand it because I was listening. I think you could have listened to him better. If your goal is the pursuit of truth, and actually, and I would imagine your goal, if you think his views are abhorrent, by the way, and I think some of them are. So if your goal is to peel some of those people off, give him the floor to explain context so that you can contrast it. But it ended up getting back to gotcha.
Okay, but final question. Which of his views do you find abhorrent?
Well, when he talks about, for example, I would say wrong. I would say wrong, the idea of global Jewry, and I told him that. The idea that massive third world immigration, particularly from Islamic countries, that largely rests at the feet of the Jews. I think it rests at the feet of these Islamic nations, so these third world nations that I would call crappled, and that's considered a more offensive view. I think it's a problem, for example, when you ask him if he's a racist, he's going to answer yes. He's going to answer yes, but he actually answers, by the way, everyone's racist, and then he actually offered a qualifier, and to prove that, you're racist, because you live in a largely white area. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. You can't just ignore the points and go back to a sound bite. That's how a guy like Nick Fuentes, that's how he
What the fuck? What are they recording on a potato? What is this?
thrives. And by the way, people in the comment section, your own comment section, I get that some of them are trolling. Go easy, guys. It's Christmas. I think you were trying to do a good job.
don't care.
What I'm telling you, Piers, is that it's not the way to approach a different generation of people who come up in a blood sport debate like they did on Twitch. It's going to actually give them a win.
Yeah, I think I buy into the argument they couldn't give a shit, actually. And that's one of the more depressing aspects of it.
Easier to dismiss them.
But if I...
That is such a classic annoying mindset. It's like, well, I hear what you're saying, but I just think they don't care about anything, and they're just nihilists. Dude, like, no one gets this ramped up if they don't care about anything. They care about exactly what you just said. They care about this because this is their future. Because, honestly, America and this entire hyper-feminized left-wing movement is really stealing the future of young men. It really is. It's lobotomizing women that go to colleges, so it's, you know, just slicing the dating pool into ribbons. So essentially, it's becoming harder and harder to date. It's harder and harder to find someone that you actually want to have a life with, build a family with. It's harder to live in society. It's harder to, you know, not get fucking killed in the streets. It's harder to protect your children from cancer.
Yeah, I got killed today myself. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's so hard not getting killed in the street. Yo, I went out today and I fucking got killed. Damn. Shit, I fucking got murdered by a brown person. Oh, man.
You're killing them. You're killing them publicly. You're killing them privately. You're killing their children, and they know that, and they care about that.
They're killing us. They are doing it.
People don't care about anything. It's just trolling. You're literally proving them right. They're screaming. They're screaming for help, and you refuse to acknowledge that. Like, ultimately, that's where the Nick Fuentes movement came from. This movement came from a disenfranchised group of white people that quite literally are the victims of so much of society that are screaming for help upon deaf ears.
I worried about their comments. I would turn the comments off, and they're wide open. So bring your worst, you little groypers. Stephen Crowder, Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, do your worst. Look at the fucking dislikes. 13,000 likes, 19,000 dislikes, bro. He's never gonna recover from this. But yeah, anyway, so I'm done. Stephen Crowder literally obliterated him. He humiliated that guy. The fucking fat ass lib cuck. What a humiliated bitch. And he's gonna keep crying about Nick Fuentes for the next few days in order to do his best to make it sound like he actually did a good thing. When in reality, he gave one of the most cringe, gotcha, pathetic interviews of all time. He got humiliated, and now he's going around getting humiliated by everyone else in the space, which is pretty nice. It's pretty entertaining to watch. It's pretty entertaining to watch mainstream media. I feel like this is like the ultimate display of mainstream media interacting with radical online media.
Lamestream.
For the first time, we saw this like head-to-head. Piers Morgan was a lamp fixture. He was a fixture in the mainstream media forever. And Nick Fuentes is some of those banned on even the mainstream social media platforms. So he's streaming on Rumble, like where we watched a clash, and it just went to show.
No, he got unbanned.
It went to show that us
on
independent
Twitter.
retards are absolutely fucking dominating the marketplace of ideas. And honestly, it's
That's
a little
what.
terrifying.
That's when it
Exciting.
was really
Oh, yeah, it's
over.
exciting. We'll see where it goes from here. A new format here on Nuts and Or. We're uploading a lot more videos, but we're basically doing topics that you guys want, even if it's slightly shorter topics. I still will be doing my deep dive. Definitely subscribe. Let me know stuff you want me to do. But for the record, yeah, Stephen Crowder, he's been pretty based lately. It's pretty insane to watch. I've watched him like back in 2016 when he was doing the Change My Mind back in the day, and now he's around. He's even more based than he ever was. So it's really nice to see.